Hello everyone, welcome to Infinity Learn by Sri Chaitanya. My name is Vibhati and in today's session I will discuss physics paper of AITS with you. So let's start with question number 1. When a large air bubble rises up from the bottom of a lake to the surface, its radius doubles. If initial radius is r, final is 2r. If the atmospheric is equal to that of the column of a water of height h, then depth of the lake is. So here volume is 4 by 3 pi r cube. Here volume is 4 by 3 pi 2 r whole cube, which is 8 times 4 by 3 pi r cube, which is 8 times the initial volume, right. And pressure here is equal to atmospheric pressure, that is equal to rho gh, and here pressure is, let's say, P1, right. So in this case we can apply P1 V1 is equal to P2 V2. So P1 is rho gh, V1 is 8V, P2 is pressure due to this h height of the column and atmospheric pressure. So it is rho g h plus h into V2 is V. So over here after solving this one you will get h as 7h, which is option 3. Next is this one. A wire elongates by L millimeter when a load W is hanged from it. When a load W is hanged from it, it is elongated by L millimeter. When the same wire goes over a pulley and we are using same weight W on either side, then we need to find the elongation in the wire, new elongation. So let us say tension in this case is T2. So here tension T1 is W and here tension T2 is what? 2W1 W2 divided by W1 plus W2. So this is 2W square divided by 2W, that is equal to W only. So tension is not changing, right. Young's modulus is what? Force into L divided by A delta L. So delta L elongation is FL divided by AY. So we are using the same wire, so AY and L will be same. So delta L will be tension T into L divided by AY. So tension is not changing, so elongation will not change. Earlier it was L, now it is again L. Next is this one. A planet revolves around the sun in an elliptical orbit of eccentricity E. If T is the time period of the planet, then the time spent by the planet between the ends of the minor axis and the major axis close to the sun is. So this is the location of the planet and these are the points which are closest to the sun on minor and major axis. So basically we need to find the time spent from this point to this point. So areal velocity is constant. So if time period is t, then total area of the ellipse pi AB divided by time period is equal to area of this white portion over here, which is equal to 1/4 of this area of ellipse, this 1/4 of the area of ellipse, which is 1/4 pi AB minus area of this triangle, because we need this white portion only. So we need to subtract this triangle area. So over here this is the length A. So this length will be AE and this is B. So it is half base into height, half base into height, right, divided by time taken from this point 1 to 2. So time will be pi AB by 4 minus AEB by 2 divided by pi AB divided by time, right. So after solving this one you will get your time as this much, t into 1/4 minus E upon 2 pi. Next is this one. The region between two concentric spheres of radii A and B respectively has volume charge density A upon R, where A is a constant and R is distance from the center. At the center of the spheres is a point charge Q, okay. The value of A is such that the electric field in the region between the spheres will be constant. So electric field flux is what? EDA, which is equal to integration EDA, which is equals to Q enclosed divided by epsilon naught. So over here it is E into 4 pi R square if you take R separation over here from center, sorry. So this will be Q plus charge enclosed in this portion, that is what? Charge enclosed in this portion will be, this is surface charge density, right? So it is A upon R, volume charge density. So it is rho dV. Integration of rho dV will be charge enclosed in this portion. So it is A upon R 4 pi R square dr, right, from R to A and from A to R, divided by epsilon naught, right. So it will be 4 pi E into R square is equal to Q upon epsilon naught plus A 4 pi into R square by 2 epsilon naught from A to R. Okay. So this is E is equals to Q upon 4 pi epsilon naught into R square plus it is 4 pi A upon 4 pi epsilon naught into R square into 2 into upper limit R square minus lower limit A square, right. So over here you will get this value as Q upon 4 pi epsilon naught R square plus 4 pi cancel. So this A upon AR square upon 2 epsilon naught R square minus A square divided by 2 epsilon naught R square, right. So it should be constant. So this term, this R square cancel. So this term should be cancelled by this term because it should not be variable, it should not depend on the value of R. So it is Q upon 4 pi epsilon naught into R square is equal to A square divided by 2 epsilon naught into R square. So this R square cancel, epsilon naught cancel, 2 cancel. So we have A as Q upon 2 pi A square, right, which is option 4. Next is this one, series combination of capacitor, each of value C1 is charged with by a source of potential difference 4V. So we have N1 capacitors in series, so their combination will be C1 upon N1 and their potential energy stored is half C equivalent into V square, right. It is equal to the potential energy stored in the combination of N2 capacitances connected in parallel, each value C2, and the potential difference across them is V. So potential energy stored is half C equivalent is N2C2 for parallel into V square. So this is what? 16C1 V square upon 2N1 is equal to N2C2 V square upon 2. 2 cancel, right, V square cancel. So we have C2 as 16C1 divided by N1 N2. C2 as 16C1 divided by N1 N2, right. So correct answer is option 4. Next is this one, the supply voltage to room is 120 volt, the resistance of the lead wire is 6 ohm, a 60 watt bulb is already switched on. What is the decrease of voltage across the bulb when a 240 watt heater is switched on in parallel to the bulb? So over here supply voltage to room is 120 volt, okay, and resistance of the lead wire is 6 ohm, a 60 watt bulb is used, okay. Now voltage across the bulb in this situation is, let's say, V1, resistance of the bulb will be V square upon P, 120 divided by 120 divided by 60. So this is 240 ohm, and resistance of the heater will be 120 divided by 120 divided by 240. So it is 60 ohms, okay. Now here current V1 will be what? I, which is 120 upon R is 240 plus 6, 246 into R is 240, that is equal to 117.73 volt. Now when you connect heater across it, okay, then the equivalent resistance will change to 240 into 60 divided by 240 plus 60, 300, that is 48 ohm, right. So new current in the resistance in the circuit will be what? 120 divided by 48 plus 6, 54 ampere. Now this current into this equivalent resistance will be potential difference across these two. So it is V2 divided by 120 divided by 54 into 48 will give you new potential difference across the bulb, that is equal to 106.67 volts. So when you subtract this, you will get the change in potential, that is 10.10 volts, option 4. Next question is this one: a metro train starts from rest in 5 seconds and achieves a speed of 108 kilometer per hour, that is 108 into 5 upon 18, 108 into 5 upon 18, that is equal to so it will be 9, it will be 54, so it is 30 meter per second. Okay, after achieving the speed of 30 meter per second, it moves with constant velocity and comes to rest after travelling a 45 meter with uniform retardation. If total distance travelled is 395 meter, the find total time of the travelling is. So over here, in the last portion of journey during retardation, initial velocity is 30, final is 0, right, and displacement is 45. So time taken in this one, we can find time taken as V square is equal to U square plus 2AS, right. So V square is 0, U square is 30 ka square plus 2, S is 45. So A will be minus 900 divided by 90, which is minus 10 meter per second square. So time taken in this one, V is equals to U plus 80. So V is 0, U is 30, A is minus 10 into T, so T is 3 seconds. So in the first portion we are taking 5 seconds, in the third portion we are taking 10 seconds. Okay. Now total distance is 395, 45 is covered here. So this complete is 355. Out of this 355, let's find what is the distance covered in the first portion, right. So it is ut plus half at square, so it is ut, A will be what? V is equals to u plus 80, right. So over here we have T as phi, so phi A is equal to 30, so A will be 6 meter per second square. Now S is ut, which is 0 plus half 80 square, that is 3, so it is 75 meter. So out of 355, 75 meter is covered here. So total distance covered is 355 minus 75 in this portion, that is equal to 275 meter. Okay, 275 meter. So 275 meters covered with uniform speed 30 meter per second. So time taken is 275 divided by 30, and that is equal to 9.2 seconds. So total time is 5 plus 9.2 plus 3, and that is equal to what? 5 plus 9 plus 8, 8 plus 9.2, that is 17.2 seconds. Next is this one: a particle starts from origin at t is equals to 0 with initial velocity phi I cap and moves in xy plane under the action of a force which produces an acceleration of 3 I cap plus 2 j cap meter per second square. Take the coordinate of the particle at the instant when its x coordinate is 84 meter. So we know that r vector is equal to r naught vector plus u vector t plus half a vector into t square, right. So r vector is equal to r naught vector is 0 comma 0, so it is 0, u vector is phi I t plus half, a vector is 3 I plus 2 j into t square, right. So x coordinate is 84 I cap, y coordinate is y j cap, so it is phi I t plus 1.5 t square into I plus t square into j. So if you compare I component, so 84 should be phi t plus 1.5 t square. After solving this one, you will get the value of time as 6 seconds. So y component will be y is equals to t square over here. This should be equal to this. So it is 6 square, that is 36 meter. Okay, which is option 3. Next is this one. A long horizontal rod has a bead which can slide along its length and initially placed at a distance L from one end A to the rod. The rod is set in angular motion about A with constant angular acceleration alpha. If the coefficient of friction between the rod and the bead is mu, the gravity is neglected, then the time after which the bead starts slipping is. So over here, tangential acceleration is alpha into L, and tangential force is equals to m alpha into L. So basically this is normal, right? So it is equal to m alpha into L. So friction is mu n, which is mu m alpha into L. So this friction is provided, this friction is providing centripetal force which is equal to m omega square L, that is equal to mu m alpha L, right? LL cancels, so we have omega square as alpha square into time square is equal to mu alpha. Time square will be mu upon alpha, so T is equals to under root mu upon alpha, which is option 1. Next is this one. The half life period of a radioactive element X is same as that of the mean life of another radioactive element Y. So basically 0.693 divided by lambda of X is equals to 1 upon lambda of Y. So basically lambda X is equals to 0.693 times lambda of Y. So you can see that lambda X is less than lambda Y. Okay, lambda X is less than lambda Y. Right, so decay rate for Y is more, so Y will decay faster than X. Option 3 is correct. Next is this one. Stress is restoring force per unit area, that is true. Second is interatomic forces in solids are responsible for the property of elasticity, that is also true. Okay, both assertion and reason are true, but this reason is not the correct explanation of why stress is there. Okay, so correct answer is option 2. Next is this one. A transmitting antenna of height h and the receiving antenna of height 45 meter are separated by a distance of 40 km for the satisfactory communication in line of sight mode. The value of h is, so over here we know that in this case D should be under root 2 r h transmitting plus under root 2 r h receiving. So D is 40 kilometer, which is 40 into 10 power 3 is equal to under root 2, R is 6400 kilometer, so it will be this much, and it is unknown, plus 2R, that is 6400 into 10 power 3 into 45. So after solving this one, you will get the value of H as 20 meter, which is option 2. Next is this one. A bimetallic strip is formed out of two identical strips, one of the copper and other one of brass, like this. One is copper, other one is brass. The coefficient of linear expansion of the two metals are alpha C and alpha B respectively. On heating, the temperature of the strip goes up by delta T and the strip bends to form an arc of radius of curvature R. Then R is, so when you bend it, the brass will be on convex side and copper will be on concave side because its alpha is more. So this is the arc formed by the bending strip. So this is R, and let's say this width is D. So for copper, L is equal to L naught into 1 plus alpha copper delta T, where L is theta into R. Angle, this, let's say this arc angle is theta, so it is theta into R, that is equal to L naught into 1 plus alpha in C delta T. For brass, this L is equal to R plus D into theta, that is equal to L naught into 1 plus alpha B into delta T. So after dividing and solving this, you will get the value of R as D upon alpha B minus alpha C into delta T. So you can see that it is inversely proportional to delta T. So it is not independent of delta T, and it is inversely proportional to alpha B minus alpha C, which is option 4. Next is work done by a system under isothermal change from the volume V1 to V2 for a gas which obeys van der Waals equation is this much. So, basically we have P plus A n square upon V as nRT divided by V minus beta n. So, P is equals to nRT V minus beta n minus A n square upon V. So, P dV, right, integration P dV will give you work done, right, from V1 to V2. So, it is nRT ln V minus beta n from V1 to V2 minus A n square upon V square. So, this will be V1 to V2, right. So, when you put the upper limit and lower limit, you will get it as nRT ln V2 minus beta n divided by V1 minus beta n plus A n square 1 upon V2 minus 1 upon V1. So, it will be V1 minus V2 divided by V1 into V2. So, this will be this much, option 2. Next is this one, a body executing linear SHM has velocity 3 meter per second when displacement is 4 and velocity 4 meter per second when displacement is 3. What is the amplitude of oscillation? So, when velocity is omega under root of a square minus x square. So, velocity is 3, that is equal to a square minus 4 square. Velocity is 4 when x is 3. Divide it, you will get the value of a as 5 centimeter, which is option 1. Next is this one. A man is standing on a railway platform listening to the whistle of an engine that passes the man at constant speed without stopping. If the engine passes the time at t is equals to 0, how does the frequency of whistle as heard by the man changes with time? So, as the engine is approaching the man, the frequency will increase, the apparent frequency will increase, and it will be maximum when the engine is crossing the man. After crossing the man, the engine will start moving away from the man. So, frequency starts decreasing, right. So, correct explanation is this one, initially increasing, then starts decreasing after crossing. So, correct answer is option 3. Next is this one, in a coil of resistance 10, the induced current developed by the changing magnetic flux through it is shown in the figure. The magnitude of the change in flux through the coil is. So, over here induced charge is equal to delta phi upon r. So, delta phi is induced charge into r. Charge is area under IT graph, which is half base into height into r is 10. So, this will be 2. So, correct answer is 2 Weber, which is option 2. Next is this one, according to Archimedes principle, when a body is floating, the weight of liquid displaced by body is equal to weight of the body. Okay, weight of the liquid displaced by the body is equal to weight of the body, that is true. A man is sitting in a boat which is floating on a pond. If the man drinks some water from the pond, the level of the water in the pond decreases. No, this is not correct. The level of the water will not decrease, right. So, over here in this case, if you look at the correct answer would be option 3. Level of the water in the pond decreases. So, both assertion and reason are true, but reason is not the correct explanation of assertion, right. So, no, just a second, give me a moment. Level of the water not decreases, it is given that it decreases over here, it does not decrease. So, this is false beta, this is false, this is wrong, this is true, right. So, assertion is true but reason is false, assertion is true but reason is false. Okay? Next is this one, an electromagnetic wave travels along z axis, velocity is along z axis. Which of the following pairs of the space and time varying field would generate such a wave? So, direction of velocity is given by E cross B. So, if E is along x axis, B is along y axis. So, E cross B will be along z axis. So, direction of velocity is coming out as z axis. if E is along x and B is along y. So, correct answer is option 1. Next is the focal length of a plano-convex lens is f and its refractive index is 1.5. It is kept over a plain glass plate with its curved surface touching the glass. With its curved surface touching the glass, something like this. So, it will be like this. Right. Now, the gap between the lens and the plate is filled by a liquid. So, this gap is filled by a liquid. So, this is plano-concave lens, right, and as a result the effective focal length becomes 2f. Then the refractive index of the liquid is. So, over here for this one focal length is f. So, 1 upon f is mu minus 1, which is 0.5. 1 upon r1 is 1 upon infinity, minus 1 upon r2 is minus r. So, here 1 upon f is 1 upon 2r. Okay. Now, for this one, let us say focal length is f2. So, 1 upon f2 is mu minus 1 into 1 upon r1 is minus 1 upon r, minus 1 upon r2 is infinity. So, 1 upon f2 is minus mu minus 1 upon r. Okay. Now, equivalent focal length is equal to 2f, right. So, 1 upon f1 plus 1 upon f2 is 1 upon 2f. One upon f is 1 upon 2r. So, 1 upon 2f is 1 upon 4r. 1 upon f1 is 1 upon 2r. This is minus mu minus 1 divided by r, right. So, this will give you what? 1 upon 4 minus 1 upon 2, 1 by 4 is equal to minus mu minus 1 plus 1, right. So, mu will be 1 minus 1 by 4, which is 5 by 4, which is equal to, in this case it will give you the value of, just a second, mu is 1 minus 1 by 4, it is coming out as 3 by 4, that means there is something wrong. Okay, this will be minus 1 by 4, right. So, yeah, mu will be 1 plus 1 by 4, that is 5 by 4, which is 1.25. Next is the distance between the plates of the parallel plate capacitor is this. A field of this is established between the plates. It is disconnected from the battery and an uncharged metal plate of thickness. This is incomplete question. Just leave it like this. Next is, it is found that if a neutron suffers an elastic collinear collision with a deuteron at rest, fractional loss of kinetic energy is PD, while for its similar collision with the carbon nucleus at rest, fractional loss of kinetic energy is PC. Then ratio of PD to PC will be. So, let us say this is neutron of mass m, deuteron will be having mass 2m, earlier its velocity is v, it is at rest. So, initial momentum is mv, and after collision neutron is moving with v1 and deuteron is moving with v2. So, final momentum will be mv1 plus 2mv2. Over here this is your elastic collision. So, coefficient of restitution is 1, that means velocity of separation is equal to velocity of approach. So, after solving this one, you will get the value of v1, you can put v2 as v plus v1, right. So, it is m cancel. So, v is equal to v1 plus 2v plus 2v1. So, it is equal to, over here you will get v is equals to 2v plus 3v1, right. So, after solving this one, you will get the value of v1. So, fractional loss in kinetic energy in this collision is PD, which is half m v1 square minus half m v square divided by half m v square. Now, in the second case, this will come out as approximately 8.8 upon 9. In the second case, when the nucleus is of carbon, then if mass of the neutron is m, then mass of the carbon nucleus will be 12 m. Initially it is moving with v velocity, it is at rest. Initial momentum is mv. After collision, let us say neutron is moving with v1 and carbon is moving with v2. So, in this case beta, final momentum is mv1 plus 12 mv2 and coefficient of restitution is 1. So, v2 minus v1 is equal to v. After solving this one, you will get the value of v1 in this situation. So when you find the fraction of energy lost in carbon using this formula, you will get this value around 0.28, 3.17, around 0.28, okay. So PD upon PC will be approximately 3, PD upon PC will be approximately 3. Next is this one, an observer can see a pinhole through a pinhole the top end of a thin rod here of height h placed as shown in the figure. Okay. This is thin rod. Observer can see through this pinhole over here. Okay. The beaker height is 3h and its radius is h. When the beaker is filled with a liquid up to a height 2h, he can see the lower end of the rod. Then the refractive index of the liquid is. So earlier when there is nothing, can see this. Now when you fill this beaker with a liquid of refractive index mu up to a height 2h, this is 2h, this is h, right, and this is h, this is h. So because of the refraction, the image of P is formed at Q, and basically this ray is bent over here, right, this ray is bent over here, right, and because of that it can see the image of P over Q like this, image of P over Q like this. Okay. So here if you make this triangle, so in this triangle beta, this is H, so this is 45 degree, this is R. So over here if you find 2 mu 1, right, 2 mu 1 as sine R upon sine I upon sine I upon sine R is equals to mu 1 sine I is equals to mu 2 sine R. That is what we can do over here. So sine I upon sine R is 2 mu 1. So sine R upon sine I is 1 mu 2, right, and sine I is 45 degree over here, the R is 45 degree over here, right, this R is 45 degree over here. So in this case beta, it is 1 upon root 2 sine I is equals to 1 mu 2, right. Now let us find the value of sine I over here. So in this triangle, if it is R, if it is I, then this is also I. So in this triangle, if you take this complete bigger triangle, this, so this is h, this is 2h. So this value hypotenuse will be 2h whole square plus h square, that is 5h square. So it will be under root 5h is the hypotenuse value. So sine I will be what? It will be perpendicular divided by base. So it is h upon under root 5h, which is 1 upon under root 5, right. So 1 mu 2 will be under root 5 by 2, that is 1.25, which is equal to 1.58 approximately. So that is your answer. Next is this one, calculate the work done when 1 mole of a perfect gas is compressed adiabatically. The initial pressure and volume of the gas are this and this respectively. The final volume is 2 liter. Molar specific heat gas at constant volume is this much. Okay. So we have initial volume, initial pressure, final volume, but we do not have final pressure. So P2 is equal to basically P1 V1 to the power PV power gamma is equals to constant. So P2 over here, it is V1 upon V2 to the power gamma into P1 will give you P2. So V1 upon V2, so V1 is how much it is, and 6 divided by 2 to the power gamma, gamma is 5 upon 3 for this much, right, and P1 is 10 power 5. So here you will get the value of pressure P2, that is approximately 6.19 into 10 power 5. Now work done in adiabatic process is what? Work done in adiabatic process is P2 V2 minus P1 V1 divided by gamma minus 1. We have everything here. So work done will be minus 957 joules. Okay, that will be the work done. Now next is using light of wavelength 6000 angstrom, stopping potential is obtained 2.4 volt for photoelectric cell. If light of wavelength 4000 angstrom is used, then stopping potential would be. So over here V naught is HSC divided by lambda into E minus phi naught divided by E, right. So when it is 2.4 HSC divided by 6000 angstrom into E minus phi naught divided by E, when stopping potential is V, HC divided by 4000 angstrom into E minus phi naught divided by E. So after solving this equation 1 and 2, you will get stopping potential over here as 3.43 volt. Okay, so numerically it is 3 volt. Next is, in an electromagnetic wave, the amplitude of electric field is this much, frequency is this much. Okay, the average energy density of electric field is, so average energy density is 1 by 4 epsilon naught into E square. So it is 1 by 4, 8.85 into 10 power minus 12 into E square is 1 into 1, right. So this will give you your value in terms of 10 power minus 12 as 2.21. So correct is 2 numerically. Okay. Next is, a parallel plate capacitor is formed by two plates, each of area this much, separated by a distance this. The dielectric of dielectric constant phi and dielectric strength is this much is filled with the plate. Find the maximum charge that can be stored on the capacitor without causing any dielectric breakdown. So over here, electric field is given as Q upon epsilon naught A, okay, Q upon epsilon naught A into K. So Q will be E epsilon naught A into K. So in this case beta it will be 8.4 into 10 power minus 6 coulomb. Next is the width of one of the two slits in double the other slit. Okay. Assuming that the amplitude of the light coming from a slit is proportional to slit width. So if amplitude of first is A, then second will be 2A. Find the ratio of maximum to minimum intensity. So I max upon I minimum is what? A plus 2A divided by A minus 2A whole square, which is equal to 9 upon 1. 9:1 is the correct answer. Alright, 9:1 is the correct answer. Next is this one. A motorcycle starts from rest and accelerate along a straight path at this. At the starting point of the motorcycle, there is a stationary electric cycle siren. How far has the motorcycle gone when the driver hears the frequency of siren at 94% of its value when the motorcycle was at rest? So initial frequency is, let's say, F, apparent is 94% of F, and that is equal to initial frequency into V minus VO, because it is moving away, V minus VO divided by V, where V is 330, right, and velocity of the observer. So V square is equals to U square, that is 2AS. So V will be 2 under root S, velocity of the observer, right. So it is 0.94 F divided by F is 330 minus 2 root S divided by 330. So this will give you the value of S as 98 meter. Okay. Now next is this one. For what kinetic energy of a neutron will the associated de Broglie wavelength will be this? So de Broglie wavelength lambda is equals to h upon mv, right. So V is h upon m lambda. So over here half mv square is kinetic energy, which is half m h upon m lambda whole square. So this will give you kinetic energy as 6.69 into 10 power minus 21 joules, right. So that is the correct answer, minus 12 joules. This is the correct answer for this one. So that is it for today's session. Thank you so much everyone. Take care bachcho. Bye bye.
Welcome to the video solution of chemistry section of grand test number 12. I am Nitin Verma, a chemistry faculty at Infinity Learn by Sri Chaitanya. So let's start with the solution. The first question was a 3 mole sample of triatomic ideal gas at 300 Kelvin is allowed to expand under adiabatic reversible conditions from 5 liter to 40 liter, the value of delta H. So we know that delta H is NCP delta T, right? because this is a triatomic gas. So CV will be 3R, that is 3 by 2 R contribution from translational degrees of freedom and 3 by 2 R from rotational. Vibrational we don't generally consider at ordinary temperatures. CV is 3R, so CP must be 4R because Myers relation, CP is CV plus R. So delta H is number of moles, which is 3 mole, CP is 4R, and some temperature, right, which we have to find out, and initial temperature is 300. Right, so we have to find out delta T, T2 minus T1, T1 is given 300, T2 we have to find out. Now remember, for adiabatic reversible process, right, the temperature and volume, they are related as TV raised to the power gamma minus 1 is equal to constant, where gamma is Cp by Cv, right. So gamma is Cp by Cv, which is 4R by 3R, 4 by 3. So gamma minus 1 is 4 by 3 minus 1, which is 1 by 3. Right? Yeah. Now T1 V1 raised to the power gamma minus 1 is T2 V2 raised to the power gamma minus 1. T1 is 300, volume is 5 liter, 5 raised to the power 1 by 3 is equal to T2 we don't, we have to find out, not given, volume is 40 liter and 1 by 3. So you can see that temperature final is 300 into 5 by 40 raised to the power 1 by 3. This is 8, 8 can be written as 2 cube, 3 3 will cancel, it will give you 2, and 300 by 2 is 150, right. So the final temperature is 150, so 150 minus 300 is minus 150, right, which you can multiply, substitute the value of R, you will get this as the correct answer. Which of the following is correct? This cesium hydroxide is the most soluble hydroxide, right, because down the group solubility increases. All alkaline earth metals do not impart, for example magnesium does not give a flame color. Lithium is not most reactive, in a gas phase cesium is most reactive, and reducing character actually increases down the group, right. The orbital angular momentum of iron chloride is 5/√6 Dirac H, then the correct option for this are ferric chloride, because in ferric chloride iron is in +3 state, which is D5, that is 5 unpaired electron. Now we know that orbital angular momentum of an electron is √L into L plus 1 Dirac H. For d orbital, L value is 2, so 2 into 2 plus 1, which is √6 Dirac H, because there are 5 electrons, we will multiply it by 5. So that is the correct answer here. In the metallurgical process of iron, when limestone, calcium carbonate, is added to blast furnace, calcium ions end up in slag, right? Calcium silicate is a slag. Inorganic compound A reacts with Davidas alloy, and this sequence of reaction, here the correct answer is option 4, because A is NaOH, it reacts, right, with actually this alloy contains aluminum, zinc and copper. So aluminum and zinc both can react and give you hydrogen gas, right, and then NaOH can again react with C, which is phosphorus. Yes, phosphorus reacts with NaOH to undergo disproportionation, forms hypophosphatine and phosphine. And then NaOH can again react with NH4Cl, and then it gives you D, which is ammonia gas, right. So B is colorless combustible nitrous gas, yes, hydrogen. D turns red litmus blue, yes, ammonia. So that is the correct answer. In an FCC lattice, there are 4 types of particles A, B, C, D. A occupies corners, so this is 1, right, 8 into 1 by 8. B occupies face centers, so that is 3. C occupies octahedral voids, there are 4 of them, right, and D occupies half of tetrahedral voids. We are assuming alternate tetrahedral voids, so there are 4, right, because tetrahedral voids are double 8, so half of 8 is 4, right. Now if the crystal is deposited in such a way that the particles at one body diagonal of each unit cell are missing, so at one body diagonal, so remember 2 of the corner particles will go. At the body center there is octahedral void, that will go, and because alternate tetrahedral voids are occupied, so one of the tetrahedral void, either in the upper half of the cube or lower half of the cube will go, right. So 2 corner particles will go, which means 2 into 1 by 8 will go. So 1 minus 1 by 4 is 3 by 4. B occupies face centers, nothing will happen to that, that will remain 3, right. C occupied octahedral voids, 1 will go away because we are removing all the particles lying along one of our body centers. So this is 3, and D is half of the tetrahedral voids. So we are assuming, right, one of the each bodied angle will carry one of the tetrahedral voids. So 1 will eliminate and 3 will remain, right? So you can cancel 3, multiply by 4. So you will get this as the correct answer, right? In this, it also forms Fe Cn6 4 minus, and this will form Fe Cn6 3 minus, right? So the correct answer here is R in both cases is D2sp3 hybridized in our orbital complex, octahedral complex. On increasing temperature from 200 to 220, the rate of reaction becomes 3 times and that of another reaction becomes 9 times. So the correct relationship between their activation energies. So we know that ln K2 by K1 is activation energy divided by R 1 upon T1 minus 1 upon T2. Now for the reaction A, the rate of reaction is becoming 3 times. That means K2 by K1 is 3. So ln 3 is activation energy of A, right, by R. You don't have to do this because it is going to cancel out, right? 1 upon T1 minus 1 upon T2, I'll leave it like that. For B, when the temperature is raised, again same from 200 to 220, then this time the rate of reaction becomes increases by 9 times. So this time K2 by K1 is 9. So it is ln 9, and this is activation energy of B divided by R and the same concentration term. So the correct relationship between activation energy of A and B, that is EA and EAB. So what we can do here is that we can divide this. The bracket term will cancel out, right? R will cancel out, and ln 9 can be written as ln 3 square, right? And log A raised to the power B is B log A. So I can write it as 2 ln 3. ln 3 will cancel out, which means 1 upon 2 is EAA divided by EAB. Activation energy of A divided by activation energy of B. So this is the correct answer, right? Activation energy of B is twice of activation energy of A. Which of the following is correct? This is correct, right? The variation of rate constant temperature does not look like this, but this statement is correct. Here the number of electrons are, there are 3 tin which are going from 2 plus to 4 plus, right? And dichromate are 2, right? So basically it is going from, I think this reaction, yeah, so plus 6 to plus 3, right? 3 chromium and there are 4, so number of electrons are 12, and also with the tin it is going from 0 to 4, yeah, so there are 3 tin, so 4 into 3, 12 electrons. Now in this reaction, EMF, which is E naught, which is E naught cathode minus E naught anode, cathode is 1 dichromate, so this is 1.33 volt, minus anode is tin, which is 0.009, right? So this is 1.339 volt. Now we know that E naught is 0.0591 divided by number of electrons log Kc. Alright, so now you can substitute the value. 1.339 is equal to 0.0591 divided by number of electrons are 12 log Kc. So you can solve this, you will find that the answer is 10 raised to the power 272 approximately. For glycine, right, it contains an acidic group, a basic group, right? For this the pH is just the average of them, the pK values. So it is 2.4 plus 9.54 divided by 2. So that will give you 5.97, right? 5.97. Which of the following reactions lead to the same product? First, second and third, they will give propane, but this will give ethane, right? You can do the reaction. Nitrogen and oxygen are main components in the atmosphere, but they do not react to form oxides of nitrogen. Yes, this is because the reaction of nitrogen and oxygen requires a great deal of activation energy, because the triple bond of nitrogen and double bond of oxygen are very strong and cannot be broken easily. So this is the correct answer. BRF3 and IF5 both exist in ionic form in solid state. What are the hybridizations? So what happens, guys, here BRF3 in solid form actually exists as BRF2 plus and BRF4 minus. Similarly for iodine, IF4 plus and IF6 minus. So you can calculate the hybridization. They will come out to be either sp3 or sp3d. Nickel can be purified by Mond process because the condition for vapor phase refining is the metal should form a volatile compound which should decompose easily. So yes, the correct answer is 1, right, because NiCO4 is a volatile compound, it decomposes at high temperature to give pure nickel. This is theoretical, this is the priority sequence of these functional groups. Here HBr when you add, right, so first OH gets protonated, water is removed, there is a carbocation formed, there is 1,2 hydride shift, so the carbocation comes here, alright. So basically if this is phenyl, then CHBr and then CH2 and the remaining CH3 twice, right. So when it undergoes again elimination, so you have a double bond, right, at alpha beta position. So the correct answer is this, because this is conjugated alkene, the double bond is conjugated with benzene ring, so it is more stable. The incorrect statement is this: alpha form, actually beta form is more stable, it is higher melting point than the alpha form. The other statements are correct, right. Which of these statements is incorrect? This is incorrect because eclipsed and staggered forms, they are very rapidly interconverting into each other. It is not possible to separate them at room temperature. Otherwise eclipsed form is unstable because of torsional strain and steric strain. Ethane has infinite number of conformers, you can rotate by infinite angles, and energy difference is theoretical. An octahedral complex having formula M A2B2C2, yes, so this is the correct answer. There are 3 different ligands. 56 liter of nitrogen gas is mixed with excess of hydrogen, so N2 plus 3H2 gives 2NH3. Nitrogen we are taking 56 liter and ammonia gas is produced 20 liter. Now if 1 liter nitrogen reacts, 2 liter ammonia is formed, that is double, so it must have reacted 10 liters, so 46 liter of nitrogen will remain unused. Work function of sodium metal is this. Here we will use Einstein's photoelectric equation, which is maximum kinetic energy is h nu minus phi, energy of incident photon minus the work function of the metal, right. So kinetic energy will be this is hc by lambda, so 6.626 into 10 to the minus 34 into 3 into 10 raised to the power 8. So hc lambda is given to be 300 nanometer, right. So this is 300 into 10 raised to the power minus 9. So this is hc by lambda, the energy of incident photon, minus the work function is, which is given to be 4.41 into 10 raised to the power minus 19, right. So the correct answer you will find will come out to be 2.22 into 10 raised to the power 19, which can be rewritten as 222 into 10 raised to the minus 21. The number of species below that have 2 lone pairs of electrons in their central atom is 2, because SF4 has 1 lone pair, 4 electrons out of 6 are shared, so 2 unshared electrons will have 1. It does not have any lone pair. ClF3 has, yes, 2 lone pairs, right, because out of 7 electrons 3 are shared, so 4 are remaining unshared, leading to 2 lone pairs on the central atom. ASF3 has 5 electrons, 3 are shared, so there is 1 lone pair. 0, there is 1 lone pair, right, 7 minus 5, 2. XeF4, yes, 8 electrons are there, 4 are shared, 4 are left, 2 lone pair. So ClF3 and XeF4. In SF6 there is no lone pair, all the 6 electrons are shared with the fluorine atoms. The pressure exerted by a non-reactive gaseous mixture of this and this carbon dioxide in this, right. So it's a simple application of ideal gas equation, right. Total volume is 10 liter, number of moles is total, because the properties of ideal gas, they are independent of the identity of the gas. So 6.4 divided by 16 plus 8.8 divided by 44. Then you can substitute the value of R and T, which is 300 Kelvin, and you can find out what is the value of pressure. So it will come out to be 150 kilopascal. All right. In this reaction, A plus B gives C plus D. Initially, all species are 1 molar, right? A, B, C, D all equal to 1 molar. So you can see the reaction quotient is 1, right, which is C into D divided by A into B. Reaction quotient is 1, but the equilibrium constant is 100. So whenever QC is less than Kc, reaction will proceed in the forward direction, that is minus x and plus x and plus x. So equilibrium constant will be 1 plus x into 1 plus x square divided by 1 minus x and 1 minus x. So that is a square, it is 100. Take the square root both sides, so 1 plus x 1 minus x is 100 square root, which is 10. Solve for x. What they have asked is equilibrium concentration of D. So remember, the equilibrium concentration of D is 1 plus x, right? So that you will find approximately 1.82, right, which is 182 into 10 to the minus 2 molar. The oxidation states of transition metal, which is chromium, manganese and iron. The sum of the oxidation states, right? This is potassium dichromate, plus 6 oxidation state, here plus 7 oxidation state, and here iron is in a very unusual plus 6 oxidation state. So 6 plus 7 plus 6, that is 19. Among the following, the number of metals which can be used as electrodes in the photoelectric cell is cesium 1 because of its very low work function. The value of N in the molecular formula, a very simple question. The sum of oxidation states of all the atoms in a compound is 0. So beryllium is 2, right? The oxidation number is plus 2. N, right? Aluminum is always 3, so 3 into 2. Silicon here is plus 4, so 4 into 6. And oxygen is minus 2, so that must be equal to 0. So if you work it out, you will get N is equal to 3. The number of total monobromo derivatives formed by the alkenes with molecular formula C5H12. So guys, C5H12, it can be N-pentane, right? It can give rise to 3 structural isomers, 1 bromopentane or 2 bromopentane or 3 bromopentane. So it can give rise to 3 structural isomers. Then another chain isomer of C5H12 is this, right? So now this can give rise to the 4th isomer, right? If we replace one hydrogen from here by bromine, this will give rise to 5th molecule, this will give rise to 6th molecule, this will give rise to 7th molecule, right? Okay. And then the last chain isomer of C5H12 is neopentane, which have all the carbons equivalent. So this is where you get your 8th type of the compound, right? So 1 bromopentane, 2 bromopentane, 3 bromopentane, or either replace bromine here or either replace 4 positions here. So total of 8 isomers. The spin-only magnetic moment in Felling's reagent, it is copper 2 plus. Copper 2 plus is 3d9. There is unpaired electron there. How many unpaired electron? 1, right? So under root 1 into 1 plus 2, that is 3, which is approximately 2, 1.73. So that is the correct answer of this question. So that's all in this solution, guys. Thank you for watching this video.
Hello everyone, my name is Akshay Arora and I am your mathematics teacher. I have a total experience of 7 years, and in this particular video session I am starting with the video solution discussion of All India Test Series Grand Test 22 January 2023. So let us move to the very first question. So the value of maximum real root minus the minimum real root of the equation, one equation is given to you in the form of a biquadratic, is equals to 16, is option A, option B, option C and option D. So basically what you need to do, you need to actually find the solution of this biquadratic equation, and then you will be able to get the minimum and maximum value of it. Okay, so basically minimum and maximum value of the real roots, since it is a biquadratic expression, so we can observe here x square raised to the power 4, it will be x raised to the power 8. So it can have a total 8 roots, out of which some of can be the real roots and some of can be the imaginary roots. But they're talking about the real roots only. So they are talking about the maximum value of the real root and the minimum real root. Okay, and we need to find the difference between them. So how will I be able to do this question? So basically I'll assume here, let x square minus 6 will be equals to t. If x square minus 6 will be equals to t, then this expression can be reduced to t plus 1 raised to the power 4, and here it can be written as t minus 1 raised to the power 4 is equals to 16. So we can simplify this expression into a biquadratic, which is equals to t raised to the power 4, then we will have plus 6t square, and then we will have minus 7 is equals to 0. So if I want to factorize it into 2 factors, so how will I be able to factorize it? So basically this will be splitted into 2 particular factors. The first factor will be t square plus 7 and the second factor will be t square minus 1, and this will be equals to 0. Now this t square is plus 7 will generate a value t square negative 7, and t square minus 1 will generate a value t square is equals to 1. So basically here we have t is equals to x square minus 6. Okay, we have this value of t. So how will I be able to deal with this situation? If I have the value of t as x square minus 6, so this will be x square minus 6 whole square is equals to negative 7. So this will bring up a imaginary root. And if I talk about this, so basically x square minus 6 will be equals to plus minus 1. Thereby, I can get two different values of x square. So the value of x square will be 6 plus 1, and the value of x square will be 6 minus 1. 6 plus 1, it will be 7. 6 minus 1, it will be 5. So basically, I'll get from here the values of x. And what values of x I will be obtaining from here? One is plus minus square root of 7, and the other one is plus minus square root of 5. So these are the values of real values of x that we are obtaining from here, out of which the maximum value of x, that means x max, will be square root of 7, and the minimum value of x, x min. Okay, they haven't told about the positive or the negative. Okay, only the maximum and the minimum. X minimum will be negative root 7. Now they have asked us to get the difference. So if I want to get the difference of x max minus x min, so that difference will be 2 root 7, and this 2 can be taken inside, it will become 4. So the answer will be square root of 28. Square root of 28 is given to us in the option C. That is why option C will be the final answer. I hope you are able to understand the solution very clearly. We are moving ahead to the next question. Here the sum of a particular series is given to us, and this sum is actually valid up till the 10 terms. And what exactly this sum is equals to, we need to figure out that. Okay, so how will I be able to figure out? So I will be trying to create the nth term first of all, okay, and or the rth term first of all. So basically here we have 7, 9, 11. I thought of, if this is 7, 9, 11, so this is of the form of 2r plus 5. Here we have 2, 3, 4. This will be r plus 1. And here we have 3, 4, 5. This will be equals to r plus 2. So 2r plus 5 upon r plus 1, r plus 2. Along with that, 1 upon 3 raised to the power r is also given to us. So this is the rth term of this expression. Now if I got the rth term, then I can apply the summation to this rth term to create this entire sequence into a form of summation where the value of r is between 1 and the value of r will go to 10. So basically I need to get this sum. If I need to find the value of this sum, how will I be able to do this? So I will try to simplify this expression. I will try to create 2r plus 1, 2r plus 5 in the form of r plus 1 and r plus 2. And how will I be able to create it? So basically I will write in the numerator 3 times r plus 2, then negative times. So basically I need to create 2r. So negative times r plus 1. In this way I will be writing it. Then I will be dividing them individually. That is r plus 1, r plus 2. And here also I will be writing r plus 1 and r plus 2. And here it will be 1 upon 3 raised to the power r. And here we can apply the summation from r is equals to 1 to r is equals to 10, and this is s. Now we can easily observe that r plus 2 both are getting cancelled. R plus 1 both are getting cancelled. So if I take this 1 upon 3r inside, so we will be left with value of s is equals to summation r is equals to 1 to 10. Then it will be 1 upon r plus 1. Okay, 1 upon r plus 1. And with this 1 upon r plus 1, we have 3 raised to the power n minus 1. Okay, 3 raised to the power r minus 1. Then we have a negative sign in between, and we have 1 upon r plus 2. Okay, and with that we are having 3 raised to the power r. I hope you are able to understand this. So basically this is SR. Now I want to apply the summation. If I apply the summation, I'll put the value of r as 1, then I'll put the value of r as 2, then 3, then 4, up till 10. So what I'll observe that all the terms are in between getting cancelled, because this will become a telescopic series. And only the term which is left here will be 1 upon 2, because if I calculate the sum, it will be 1 upon 2, and here it will be 1 upon 12 times 2 raised to the power 10. Okay, so 1 upon 2, 12 times, it is 3 basically. And if I put the value of r as 10, 10 plus 2 it will be 12. Okay, so I'm actually again writing it. 1 upon 2 minus 1 upon 2, 12, 3 raised to the power 10. So basically this is the sum that we are obtaining after substituting the value of r as 1, then 2, then 3 and adding all them together. I'll be obtaining 1 upon 2 minus 1 upon 12 into 3 raised to the power 10. Okay, now is this any option given to us? Yes, it is given to us in the option B. So 1 upon 2 minus 1 upon 12, 3 raised to the power 10. This is the final answer. I hope you are able to understand how to deal with this question. We are moving ahead to the next question. The number of 3-digit numbers of the form of x, y, z. Basically x is coming in the first place, then y, then z. So if it is a 3-digit number, so here the value of x cannot be equals to 0. You need to make sure that x is not equals to 0. Moreover, there are two conditions given to us. One is x less than y, and the second condition is z less than or equals to y. So z can be equal to y also. There are two specific cases. Z can be equal to y also and z less than y also, basically. Okay. Now there can be different cases in the possibilities of the values of x and y. Okay, I'm talking about the first case when x is less than z and z is less than y. Okay, so x is less than y and z is less than y. This is being satisfied by the case 1, these two conditions. This is the case 1. Now let me talk about the case 2. In the case 2, x is less than z but z is equals to y. Now I'm talking about the case 3. In the case 3, z is less than x less than y. So basically if I talk about the case 3, it will be z less than x less than y. Now let us think about the case 4. I already have taken x less than z, x less than z. Okay. Now z less than x is also being taken here. So we can work upon x and z both are equal. Okay. So there can be a situation when x and z both are equal and these both are less than y. So these are the 4 possibilities that we need to think about. Now we need to consider the cases. How will I be able to take the values of x, y, z? Okay. So what we need to do here, first one is x should be smaller than z and z should be smaller than y. So how will I be able to consider these? So out of the 10 digits, 0 cannot be the value of x. We can select any 3 digits. Okay, so out of the 10 digits, first of all 0 is eliminated, we are left with 9. Now out of these 9s, we can select any 3 and we can arrange in the order of ascending order. The smaller value will be given to x, the second larger will be given to z and the third larger will be given to the y. So this situation will be generating a solution of 9c3. Now in this case also x is the smallest one, then z and y both are same. So in this situation I can take 9c2, and in this situation where x is not the smaller one, okay, here x is not the smaller one but z is the smaller one. So if we are taking the smallest value to be 0, then it can be aligned with z and z can be 0. Okay, z can be 0, y can be 0 but x cannot be equals to 0. So that is why from the 10 digits I can select 3 digits, and if 0 is being selected as in this situation, then that 0 will be gone to the smallest value, that is z. Okay, so that is why we are writing here 10c3. And in the last case also we cannot select 0 because we cannot take 0. So that is why x and z here are equal. So I will be writing 9c2. So final answer will be equals to what? I will be writing 9c3 first of all, then I will be writing 9c2, then I will be writing 10c3, and then finally it will be again 9c2. So basically 9c2 is written 2 times and I apply the algorithm. So finally we will be able to get the answer as 276. So 276 is the answer after solving these all. And we can also apply one formula. If you remember one formula, let me help you with that. NCR minus 1 is equals to n plus 1 CR. So we can apply the formula in this also, because if I consider r as 3, so r minus 1 will be 2. So basically this will be converted to 10c3. Okay, so that will be making our calculation simpler, and the final answer that we will be obtaining here is 276. I hope you are able to understand this. Moving ahead to the next solution. Here we go to the next solution in which we need to determine the coefficient of x raised to the power 64. So this is a question from the chapter binomial theorem. There is a expansion given to us 1 plus x raised to the power 131. x square minus x plus 1 raised to the power 130. So basically you need to remember one formula of x cube plus 1. So this is x plus 1, then we have x square minus x plus 1. So this is the formula for x cube plus 1, a cube plus b cube, x cube plus 1, okay. So here are the terms given to according to that formula. So in this situation what I'll do, I will write x cube plus 1 with a power 130 and one power among 1 plus x will be remaining. So I'll be writing this x plus 1 as it is, okay. So I'm writing here x cube plus 1. Along with that there will be one extra factor with a power 1 that will be remaining. So in this particular expression, I need to get the coefficient of x raised to the power 64. Okay, so if I want to get the coefficient of x raised to the power 54, from this particular expression x cube plus 1 raised to the power 130, I can get x raised to the power 63. And from this expression x plus 1, I will be getting x. When both of them will be multiplied, they will be generating x raised to the power 64. I hope you are able to understand how we are creating x raised to the power 64 in this expression. Now, how will I be able to create x raised to the power 63 into it? Okay, so basically this 63 can be obtained as 21 times 3. So the coefficient of x raised to the power 63 in this particular expression can be written as 130C21. 130C21, because 130C21 will generate x raised to the power 21. Okay, so 130C21 is written anywhere. Yes, it is written in the option A. So that is why option A will be the final answer of this particular question. I hope you are able to understand this illustration also. Moving ahead to the next illustration, the natural number x is chosen at random from the first 1000 natural numbers. Okay, so the value of x can have 1000 possibilities. This is a greatest integer function, denotes the greatest integer function. Then the probability of this is equals to 31x upon 30. So basically we know the formula of the greatest integer function of x can be written as x minus fractional part function of x. So here x by 2 greatest integer function can be written as x by 2 minus fractional part of x by 2. Then x by 3 minus fractional part of x by 3. Then x by 5 minus fractional part of x by 5. And here we have 31x over 30. So what we will be doing here, if I add x by 2, if I add x by 3 and if I add x by 5, so I'll be able to observe that we are getting 31x upon 30. So these all terms will get cancelled and the sum of all these fractional part functions x by 2 and then x by 3 and then x by 5, the sum of all these fractional part function will give us a 0. Now the fractional part function will always have the value between 0 and 1. The minimum value is 0. The maximum value that we can get is 1 in the open interval, not exactly 1 but 1 in the open interval. It is tending towards 1. So here we are observing that since the sum of these three is 0, they cannot be negative any time. So individual they should be 0. So x by 2, okay, x by 2 fractional part belongs to the set of integer, because fractional part is 0, that means this particular expression x by 2 is integer. If I am writing x by 2 fractional part 0, that means x by 2 should belongs to the integer. Moreover, x by 3 should also belongs to the integer and x by 5 should also belongs to the integer. Okay, I have written over here x by 5, all right. So all these quantities should belongs to the integer. Now if this is an integer which is divisible by 2, this is divisible by 3, this is divisible by 5, so the LCM of it is, so x can be written as 30 times n. Okay, so you can observe here that x is a multiple of 30 in this situation. Then only we will be able to get x by 2 as integer, x by 3 as integer and x by 5 as also integer. Now they want that x should be chosen from 1000. So the number of numbers which are lying between 1 to 1000 and are exactly divisible by 30 will be how many? So if I divide 1000 upon 30, so basically I will be able to get 33. So the answer will be 33 upon 1000. The probability we need to determine, so it will be 33 upon 1000. I hope you are able to understand how we got the solution. Moving ahead to the next question. Suppose there is a matrix given to us and this matrix is satisfying this particular quadratic expression. Okay, this matrix name is X and this matrix is satisfying this matrix polynomial. Okay, the statement 1 is if A and D, the sum of A and D is not equals to 4, then there are just two matrices X. Then there are just two matrices X which will satisfy this. But A plus D should not be equals to 4 in that situation. Okay. The second one is there are infinite numbers of matrix X satisfying x square minus 4x plus 3i is equals to 0. Okay, and the condition will be when a plus d is equals to 0 is equals to 4. Okay, and when this is the sum of a plus d is equals to 4, then we can have the infinite number of matrix X. So how will I be able to figure it out? So basically this is X and inside the X it is given to us A, B, C, D. So I am writing here X is a matrix which is A, B, C, D. There is a matrix polynomial given to us x square minus 4x plus 3i. So that can be broken down into two factors. So here we are writing x square minus 4x and then it is plus 3i. Okay, I am breaking it down into two different factors. So first factor will be x minus I. And the second factor will be x minus 3i. Okay, and this is equals to 0. So if I try to figure it out, so this particular x can be equated to I also. The ABCD can be equated to identity matrix also, and the ABCD can be equated to 3i also. It can be equated to 3i also. From here what I can analyze, so A and D, if they are both equals to 1 and B and C if both are equals to 0. Here is the first situation. Here is the second situation. A and D both are equals to 3 and B and C both are equals to 0. So we are observing that in both of these situations, the sum of A plus D is not equals to 4. What we are observing that in both these situations, the sum of A plus D is not equals to 4. So whenever the sum of A plus D is not equals to 4, then in that situation, there are just two such matrices. And obviously we are observing that x is equals to I, x is equals to 3i are the roots of this particular matrix polynomial. And obviously there are two such matrices when we are obtaining this result, when A plus D is not equals to 4. Alright. So we can also think about the second possibility. So according to me, statement 1 is perfect. There is no problem in that. Okay. Now let us move ahead to the statement number 2. There are infinite numbers of matrix X satisfying this particular expression. So here we can observe that if I start with x minus I, x minus 3i, x minus I and x minus 3i. So please observe this product. Okay. So matrix x minus I will be A minus 1, then it will be B, then it will be C as it is, and then it will be D minus 1. Okay, this is x minus I. Then I am writing x minus 3i, so it will be A minus 3, then it will be B itself, then it will be C, and then it will be D minus 3. Now if I try to do the product of these two, so what will happen? So this gets multiplied with this A minus 1, A minus 3, and then we will have plus BC. The same gets multiplied here also, A minus 1 times B plus B times D minus 3. The same gets multiplied here, C times A minus 3 plus D minus 1 into C. And so the same C into B, it will become BC. So D minus 1 into D minus 3. I hope this is also clear to you. Now what we can observe from here, if I try to simplify this expression, I am keeping this as it is. So it is A minus 1, A minus 3. And plus BC I am writing here, and here what I am observing, if I take this B common, suppose, so I am left with A plus D inside, and minus 1 minus 3 will become minus 4. Okay, here if I take this C common, so I am left with A plus D inside, and minus 3 minus 1 will be minus 4. Here I am keeping the terms as it is, D minus 1, D minus 3. So basically what you can observe from here, if A plus D is equals to 4, suppose, if A plus D is equals to 4. So what we are observing here, so if A plus D is equals to 4, so this term will be converted to 0. And we are observing that this term will also be converted to 0. So here we are observing that a plus d is equals to 4. So the two terms here are converting to 0. Okay. So we are writing here a minus 1, a minus 3 plus bc, and here it is 0. Okay. So we are moving ahead again. 0 will be here also, and here we can write bc plus d minus 1 and d minus 3. Okay, so this is the result that we are obtaining. Now if this matrix needs to be equated to 0, this matrix needs to be equated to null matrix, that means we can have many values for a, b, c, so that we can generate this matrix equals to null matrix. So in this situation, infinite results are possible. Infinite results are possible if a plus d is equals to 4. I hope you are able to understand. So when a plus d is not equals to 4, then there will be two results. And when a plus d is equals to 4, then there will be infinite results. So in this situation, we can refer here that statement 1 is true, statement 2 is true, but not the correct explanation. I hope you are able to understand this particular question. We are moving ahead to the next one. So here we have z minus iota with a modulus, and it is given to us less than or equals to 2. There is a number z0 also, which is represented by 5 plus 3 iota. Then the sum of the maximum and minimum values of iota z plus z0 with a modulus. We need to determine it. So how will I be able to figure out it? If I try to figure out this particular circle, okay, so this is the area or the region representing inside the circle. What will be the center of that circle? So center of that circle will be 0, 1. What will be the radius of that circle? The radius of that circle will be 2. So if I try to plot it here, suppose here we have 0, 1, I am considering it to be center, and from this center I am drawing a circle. So this circle will pass from this circle will pass from 0, minus 1 and 0, 3. Okay. So from here this circle will pass. Okay. I hope you are able to understand. So this particular expression represents the inner region of the circle because their sign is less. Okay. Now there is a point z0 which is 5 plus 3 iota, and I want to get the minimum value of this expression. So I want that iota should be attached to z0. So basically what we can do from here, I can take this iota common and I will be left with z plus 1 upon iota into z0, and there is a modulus to it. Okay, then I'll apply the property of the modulus, that here we will have modulus iota and here we will have z minus iota z0. This is also clear to you. So in this situation, modulus of iota will be equals to what? Modulus of iota, we can observe here, it will be equals to 1. Okay, and here we have z minus iota z0. Let us put the value of z0. It will be 5 plus 3 iota. So here I am writing 5 plus 3 iota. Let us try to simplify it. So it becomes 5 z minus 5 iota, and here we will have iota square. Iota square will be negative 1. So which will make it plus 3. I hope this is also clear to you. Now if I try to, suppose if I try to write here, or if I try to take this negative common, so I will be left with 5 iota minus 3. Okay, I'll be left with 5 iota minus 3. So 5 iota minus 3 is representing a coordinate in the second quadrant, which is minus 3, 5. Okay, so here we are actually on the point minus 2, and here will be minus 3. So minus 3, 5 will lie outside of it. It will lie over here. Okay. Now I want to get the minimum value and maximum value. So I'll first of all find this distance. And for the minimum value, first of all, then I'll find this distance. How will I be able to find? So basically the maximum distance is represented by small d m, max. Okay. So small d m max, if I want to write here, it will be like, it can be observed with the help of the distance formula, that is, it is 3 square then 4 square with the square root, that will become 5. And if I want to get d minimum, so from 5 we need to subtract the radius, that is 2, so it will be 3. Now they have asked us, basically what they have asked find the sum of maximum and the minimum values. So maximum value will be 5 and we need to add the radius to it also. Okay, so basically this entirely from here to here up till this point, this will become d max and this will become d min. So here I am adding the radius, here I will be subtracting the radius, 5 plus 2 it will become 7 and 5 minus 2 it will become 3. So they have asked to get the sum of the maximum and minimum value. So 7 plus 3, the sum will be equals to 10. So that is why we are obtaining the C option to be the final answer. Is it clear to you? Are you able to understand this? If this is clear to you, then we can go ahead. Okay. So let us start with the next question. Here we have x, y, z and w be the positive numbers. Okay. And the logarithm relationship has been given to you, that log w to the base x is given here, which is given to you as 24. All right. There is another logarithm log w to the base y, which is equals to 40. And there is another logarithm log w to the base xyz. This is given to you as 12. Then we need to find the value of log w to the base z. How will I be able to find it? So from here, if I try to reciprocate, it will be, if I try to reciprocate, that means 24 will become 1 upon 24. But here what will happen? So argument of the log and the base of the log will get interchanged. So in place of w, there will be x, in place of x, there will be w. And the result here will be equals to 1 upon 24. Here what I can observe, log y, then here I will have w, it will be 1 upon 40. And here what I can observe, it will be log xyz, and here it will be w, it will be 1 by 12. Now we know that the value for log xyz will be log x plus log y plus log z. So log x value we already know, log y value we already know, log z value, log z to the base w, it will be equals to 1 by 12. So if I want to get the value of log z to the base w, it will be 1 by 12 minus 1 upon 24 minus 1 upon 40. I hope this is also clear to you. Now if you want, you can take the LCM of this expression. Okay, so I hope 12, 24, 40 can generate an LCM of 120. Okay, so I'm writing here 120. Then the first term will be 10. And then the second term will be 5, the third term will be 3. It will be converted to 2 upon 120, which is 1 upon 60. So basically log z to the base w will be 1 upon 60, and they have asked the opposite of it, that is the reciprocal of it, log w to the base z, that will be 60. And 60 is given to us in the option D, so that is why option D will be the final answer. I hope you are able to understand how we have obtained this option D. We are moving ahead to the next question. We need to work upon the domain of this particular function. So the first one, this expression can be written as root 2 times sine x plus pi by 4, with a square root is also given to us. And the second function can be written as it is 7x minus x square minus 6. Okay, now if this function needs to be defined everywhere, so the quantity which is inside the square root should always be positive, and it is given to get the values of x for this particular expression should be positive. So the very first is, here we will need to write that the value of sine theta should be positive. Okay, the first thing, this is the first one. And we know that the value of sine theta is positive where? So sine theta is positive in between 0 to pi. Okay, so x plus pi by 4 will be between 0 to pi. Okay, then it will be between 2 pi to 3 pi also, 2 pi to 3 pi also. Okay, now again we can also write here 4 pi to 5 pi also, but we need to actually check these particular options also. That we need not to go beyond 3 pi. Okay, value of 3 point is 9 point something, and in any of the option there is no 9 point something, so that is why we'll be stuck to these values. Okay, now we have 7x minus x square minus 6. So this 7x minus x square minus 6 is positive. This is greater than 0. So if 7x minus x square minus 6, I'm not able to write greater than 0. So I'm writing it here, just a minute. So 7x minus x square minus 6 is greater than or equals to 0. So I'll be writing here x square minus 6, then I'll be writing plus 6, then it will be greater than 0. Can I factorize it very easily? X minus 1 and then x minus 6 greater than 0. So there will be 2 points, 1 and 6, and between 1 and 6 if I consider any number, suppose if I consider number 2, just a minute, I need to change the sign of inequality also, it should be less than 0 over here. Okay, because I have multiplied negative to both sides, so that is why it should be negative. it should be less than 0. So if I put the value of x as 2, suppose, if I put 2 here and 2 here, it will be satisfying it. That means the value of x will between 1 to 6, okay. Now I need to be in between 1 to 6. If I need to be in between 1 to 6, so first of all I need to find this interval for x belongs to. I'll be taking this 0 minus pi by 4, x belongs to minus pi by 4, and then pi minus pi by 4, it will become 3 pi by 4. So the value of x in the first interval will be this. Then union 2 pi minus pi by 4, it will be 7 pi by 4, and then 3 pi minus pi by 4, it will be 11 pi by 4. I hope you are able to understand this one also. So finally we have this particular solution. We have this particular solution, and I want to take the common of these two. So from these options, can you analyze? The interval will start from 1. It will reach up till 3 pi by 4. Then again it will start with 7 pi by 4. And 11 pi by 4 is a value greater than 2 pi. Okay, so it will reach up till 6 only. So it will start with 1, then 1 to 3 pi by 4, then 7 pi by 4 to 6. So that is given to us in our option B. So that is why option B will be the final answer of this particular question. Okay, I hope you are able to understand how we got the domain of this particular function. Then we have another important question, the limit question, which is also very easy question. So we can observe here we have the value for sine inverse x as theta, and then we can write the value of x as sine theta. Now here we are observing that x is tending towards 1 by root 2. That means if I assume x as sine theta, so sine theta is tending towards 1 by root 2, that means theta will be tending towards pi by 4. I am changing the entire limit in the terms of theta. Limit of theta is tending towards pi by 4. Here we have sine theta, here we have cos theta, here we have 1 minus tan theta. Okay, if I want to convert this 10 into sine upon cos and then take the LCM, so I will left with sine minus cos, and here it will be cos minus sine. After the LCM I am writing, and this whole is divided by cos theta. So basically if I try to cancel sine minus cos and cos minus sine, will it be possible for me? Yes, it will be possible for me. So we are left with only minus cos theta, and when theta is tending towards pi by 4. So if I try to put the value of pi by 4 here, I'll be able to get the value as minus 1 upon root 2. So minus 1 upon root 2 will be the final answer. Are you able to understand how we got this solution? So if this is clear to you, then we can go ahead with the next question. Here we go to the next question. They have told us that we will be differentiating this particular expression, this particular function n times, and after substituting the value of, basically we need to substitute the value of x as 0 in this, and we should generate a non-zero value. Okay, so first of all I thought of differentiating it first time. For the first differentiation I am writing f1x. This represents the first order derivative. E raised to the power x will be e raised to the power x, e raised to the power minus x will generate plus e raised to the power minus x, then 2 sin x will generate 2 cos x, and here what will happen? X cube will be differentiated as 3x square, 3 and 3 will be getting cancelled. So we are left with 2x square. If I put the value of x as 0, what I observe? On substituting x as 0, the first derivative is 0. Then I will be finding f2. It will be e raised to the power x, e raised to the power minus x, then 2 sin x, and then it will be 4x. I hope this is also clear to you. So then I am again differentiating it for f3. So it will be e raised to the power x, then plus e raised to the power minus x, then we will have plus 2 cos x, then here I am having minus 4. So if I try to add, like if I try to put the value of x as 0, then also it will become 0. I need to differentiate up till the point, up till the value of the differentiation, up till the nth order derivative where this function obtained is generating a non-zero value. Here also at x is equals to 0, it is generating a 0 value. That is why I am again differentiating it. So this is minus 2 sin x and this will become 0. Again we are obtaining the result as 0 over here on substituting x is equals to 0. I am again differentiating it. Then I am getting 2 cos x. Then again I am getting the result as 0. I am again differentiating it. Then it will be e raised to the power x minus e raised to the power minus x. Then plus 2 sin x. If I substitute x is equals to 0, then also again I am getting the value of this derivative as 0. The last one is 7th order derivative. Okay, so if I do the 7th order derivative, e raised to the power x plus e raised to the power minus x, and we will have plus 2 cos x. Okay, now if I substitute x is equals to 0, that will generate a value 4. That means f of 7, 0 will generate a value 4 which is not equals to 0. Hence the 7th order derivative is non-zero. So the least value of n where we are getting the 7th order derivative non-zero as 7. Okay. So the result is C. I hope you are able to understand this solution. Now we are moving to the next question. If the number of points of discontinuity of the given function, here is a function which is represented by the greatest integer function and x is between 0 to 90. So do you know that the greatest integer function is always discontinuous at the points where it is generating an integral value. So that means we know that if I want to get the values of basically 2 plus 10 sin x is given to us. Okay. So the minimum value of 2 plus 10 sin x I need to work upon. Okay, at x is equals to 0, the minimum value I will be obtaining 2, and at x is equals to pi by 2, the maximum value that we are obtaining here is 12. So this 2 plus 10 sin x will lie between the interval 2 to 12. And the number of points of discontinuity are those points where it is actually creating an integer value. So that means for points of discontinuity, 2 plus 10 sin x will belong to the set of numbers 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, so how many are these numbers? So if you try to figure it out, because 2 is also the part of the interval and 12 is also the part of the interval. So basically the number of points of discontinuity we need to analyze here will be 10 points. They will be 10 points. The number of points of discontinuity. Okay. So there at the 10 points we'll observe that 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, and we need to consider 12 also. So basically there will be 10 points of the points of discontinuity for this function. Now there is a function which is given to us as gx. For that I need to observe the non-differentiability. Okay, so gx is equals to x minus 1 times x minus 2, and we need to analyze the number of points of non-differentiability. Okay, and this is being multiplied with inside the modulus. There is a symbol of modulus also. Okay, so inside this modulus we are left with x minus 1, then x minus 2, then x minus 3 up till x minus 2m. So basically there are 2m factors inside this modulus. At all these factors the function is becoming non-differentiable, but due to these two factors which are outside, at x is equals to 1 and at x is equals to 2, gx will become differentiable. Gx is differentiable at x is equals to 1 and x is equals to 2. So that means the total are 2m, and out of these 2m, 2 are the points where it is differentiable. So number of points of non-differentiability, will be equals to 2m minus 2. Now what they have discussed, so basically they has told us that the number of points of discontinuity will be equals to the number of points of non-differentiability. Okay, so I am writing 2m minus 2 will be 10, the value of 2m will be equals to 12, and hence the value of m will be equals to 6. Now what they have told us, then the value of m is what? So the value of m will be 6, and 6 is given to us in the option 3. So that is why option 3 will be the final answer. I hope you are able to understand this. Okay, now we are moving ahead. The curve this is equals to this has a vertical tangent. Do you know what is vertical tangent? At the point of vertical tangent, dy by dx is tending towards plus minus infinity. Okay, at this point of vertical tangent, it is tending towards infinity. So basically the particular expression is given to us, but I hope there is a problem in this. It should be e, the base of the logarithm. So x plus y minus log x plus y is equals to 2x plus 5 as a vertical tangent at alpha comma beta, and we need to analyze alpha plus beta. Okay, that's it. So let us try to differentiate this. So differentiation of x is 1, differentiation of y is y dash, then differentiation of log of something will be 1 upon x plus y, multiplied by differentiation of x will be 1 and differentiation of y will be y dash, and here we will have the differentiation of 2x plus 5 to be 2. Now what I want to do here, if I try to take the LCM, then what will happen? Or I can also do one thing, I can take this entire expression to that side also, and then I can multiply it by x plus y. So let us do the same thing, what we are dealing here. I will be bringing this 2 here, I'll be left with y dash minus 1, and I will take this entire expression 1 plus y dash upon x plus y here. Now in the same way I am taking this x plus y here, so I'll be left with x plus y into y dash minus 1, and here it will be 1 plus y dash. Now let us try to open up this bracket. So x plus y will be multiplied with y dash, and then x plus y will be multiplied with 1. Again we have a 1 here and a y dash here. Now I am taking all the terms of y dash to one side, so it will be x plus y minus 1 into y dash, and here it will be x plus y plus 1. So basically if I want to get the value of y dash, then it will be very easy. It will be x plus y plus 1 whole divided by x plus y minus 1. So this is the y dash. Now if this y dash is tending towards infinity at a point alpha beta, so if I substitute y dash at alpha beta, okay, if I substitute y dash at alpha beta, so the expression is coming out to be alpha plus beta plus 1 and whole divided by alpha plus beta minus 1. So if I equate this derivative towards infinity, so the denominator should be 0, and in this situation if I make this denominator 0, so I will be able to get the value of alpha plus beta, and the value of alpha plus beta that we are obtaining here is equals to 1. So basically 1 is given to us in the option B, so that is why option B will be the final answer. Are you able to understand how we are obtaining this option B to be the final answer? If this is clear to you, then we will be moving ahead to the next illustration. Okay, so let us move to the next question. Find the set of values of A for which the given function possesses a negative point of inflection. So basically, first of all, I'll be finding the point of inflection, and then I'll be making that point to be negative, and then I'll be finding the values of A. So basically for point of inflection, what we can do, I will find out first of all the single derivative. On observing this single derivative, it will be 2a upon 3 into x. Then it will be a plus 2 times 2x. Okay, and the third one is a minus 1. So this is a single derivative that we have obtained. Now let us try to write the double derivative. So double derivative is 2a upon 3, and then we have a plus 2 times 2. This is the double derivative that we are obtaining here. I think there is a problem in this particular question. Let me correct this problem again, okay? So the problem is with the power. There is a typing error in this particular question, okay? The typing error might not be in your question paper, but in this particular screen there is a typing error. It should be 3, okay? So ax cube upon 3, this is a question basically. Now let us try to differentiate it. So if I try to differentiate x cube, it will be 3x square. 3 and 3 both will get cancelled. I'll be only left with ax square. Then it will be a plus 2 times 2x. And then here I will have a minus 1. This is the single derivative that we have obtained. I hope now it is clear to you. Now let us again differentiate it. So it will be 2ax. Then we have 2 times a plus 2. Okay, this is the single derivative. Now we can observe, or we can get the value of double derivative also. So we can triple derivative. So this is the triple derivative that we are obtaining 2a. So here this double derivative is 0, but triple derivative should not be 0. At that particular point, we are getting the point of inflection. Okay. So in this situation, what we can observe here, if I try to get the value of x, so the value of x is negative times a plus 2 whole divided by a. This is the value of x. Now they have told us that it will have a negative point of inflection. So negative times a plus 2 upon a is negative. If I take this negative here, this expression will become positive. So a plus 2 upon a will be positive. And if I want to try to get the values of the interval, so if I observe the critical point, it is minus 2 and 0. And if I substitute a is equals to 1, then it is satisfying here. So this is included, but the middle one, minus 2 to 0 is not included. So minus infinity to minus 2, union 0 to infinity is the value or the set of values of a for which the given function possesses a negative point of inflection. Are you able to understand how we have got this solution? If this is clear to you, then we can go ahead for the next question, okay? We are observing the next question. Here the next question is in the form of the statements, okay? And statement 1, if a hyperbola having a transverse axis of length half, transverse axis of the length half, so that means A will be 1/4, okay, is confocal, that means it will have a same focal with the ellipse. So this ellipse can be converted into a equation x square by 4 y square by 3 is equals to 1, okay? So a particular hyperbola and a ellipse are having a same point of focus. So let us try to first of all get the coordinate of focus. So in case of the ellipse, if I want to get the coordinate of focus, it will be determined with the help of c square will be equals to a square plus b square, okay? If I try to add a square plus b square, so just a minute, I think there is some problem, yeah. So if I try to get here 4 x square by 4, yeah, the equation is perfect. Equation is perfect, there is no problem in that, okay? So in case of ellipse, the value of c square will be a square minus b square, and a square is 4, b square is 3, so 4 minus 3 will be equals to 1. So the value of c will be equals to plus minus 1. That means the coordinate of focus will be 1, 0 and minus 1, 0. Now this particular hyperbola is having the focus at the same point 1, 0 and minus 1, 0. That means the value of c in case of hyperbola is 1. And in case of hyperbola, the formula for c square will be equals to a square plus b square. I know the value of a is 1/4, so it will be 1/16 plus b square is equals to c square. The value of c square we can substitute here as 1. I am writing here as 1. Then it will be very easy for me to get the value of b square. So the value of b square will be equals to 1 minus 1 upon 16, and 1 minus 1 upon 16 will be 15 upon 16. Is it clear to you how we got 15 upon 16? So basically I have a square with me, okay? I have a square with me as 1/16. I have b square with me. Then on substituting this a square and b square, I will be able to get the equation of hyperbola. That means statement 1 is entirely true. There is no confusion in the statement 1, okay? Now let us move ahead to the statement number 2. The equation of the hyperbola, conjugate to the hyperbola. So basically there is a hyperbola equation given to us, x square by 15 minus y square by 1 is equals to 1/16. And if I want to make the conjugate of it, instead of 1/16, we just need to replace it with minus 1 upon 16. So here it should be minus 1 upon 16. In that situation, the term of x will become negative and the term of y will become positive. So here it is wrong. This is another hyperbola which is not conjugate with this. So that is why statement 2 is false. Is there any option in which statement 1 is true, statement 2 is false? Yes, statement 3, like option 3. So the option 3 will be the final answer of this particular question. Moving ahead to the next question, I hope you are able to understand. So the volume of the parallelepiped whose coterminous edges are given to you, twice of b cross c, okay? So the first one is twice of b cross c. The second edge, thrice of c cross a. The third edge, 4 times a cross b. 4 times a cross b. So these are the edges given to you. Now if I want to get the volume of this parallelepiped, okay, if I want to get the volume of it, so that means we need to take the scalar triple product of these 3 factors, twice of b cross c, then 3 times c cross a. Now according to the property of scalar triple product, guys, you all know that 2 into 3, 6 into 4, 24 times it will be converted to box ABC square. I hope you are able to understand this. Now the volume that they have given in the question is 18 cubic unit. So I'm equating this to 18. I'm taking this 24 here. So this will be box ABC will be 3 upon 4, and 3 upon 4 with the square root will be root 3/2. So the value of the scalar triple product ABC will be equals to root 3/2. I hope you are able to understand this. Now they have given us that the A vector is given by this particular vector, B vector is given by this particular vector, and C vector is given by this particular vector. Since we know the value of box ABC, then it will be very easy for me to create a determinant of this box product. Okay, so 1 plus sine cos and sine 2 theta. So I am writing here box ABC, and here it will be in the first row 1 plus sine, then cos. Okay, I'm moving back, then it will be sine 2 theta. I hope this is the first row which has a vector A. Vector B, sine theta plus 2 pi by 3 cos theta plus 2 pi by 3 sine theta plus 2 pi by 3. Then we have cos theta plus 2 pi by 3, and the last one is sine 2 theta plus 4 pi by 3. Okay, it will be sine 2 theta plus 4 pi by 3. This is the second row. The third row is sine theta minus 2 pi by 3 cos theta minus 2 pi by 3 sine theta minus 2 pi by 3 cos theta minus 2 pi by 3, and the last one sine 2 theta minus 4 pi by 3. Okay, so I'm writing here sine 2 theta minus 4 pi by 3. So I'll apply the operation R1 tends to R1 plus R2 plus R3, and I'll try to simplify this expression. Do you know what is the simplification that we are observing here? So after the simplification, it will be very easy for us to actually convert it into the form of root 3 cos 3 theta. And once I equate this particular with root 3 by 2, I will be able to write the value of modulus cos 3 theta as 1 by 2. So from here I will be able to get the value of theta. Once I get the value of theta, I need to do the sum of all the values of theta in the interval 0 to 90. Okay, so the value of cos 3 theta is equals to half, and I'll be obtaining the value of 3 theta from here. I'll get 3 different thetas in between the interval 0 to 90. Okay, and I need to actually add all these thetas. Okay, let us move to the next question. So for x comma y belongs to the set of real number, there is a relationship. X is in relationship with y. Okay, if and only if this particular expression is an irrational number. So if x minus y plus root 2 is an irrational number, so let us assume, will x comma x satisfy the relation? Yes, because if I substitute x comma x, x and x both will get cancelled, only root 2 will remain. Yes, root 2 is a rational number. Yes. So if I substitute, suppose if I substitute here 2 comma root 2, will it be satisfying? No. So if I substitute here root 2 comma 2, will it be satisfying this relation? Yes. Root 2 comma 2 will satisfy this relation because it will generate a rational number. But if I take 2 comma root 2, will it satisfy? No, it will not satisfy this relationship. So R is not symmetric. Okay, R is not symmetric, and here R is reflexive. Again, if you refer to these options, okay, so reflexive but not symmetric and transitive. No. So there is there an option only symmetric, only reflexive option? Yes, fourth option. Okay, so in the fourth option, other than the fourth, suppose we are getting reflexive but not symmetric, and obviously we won't be able to get the transitive also here, because in any of the option, is there any option to give the answer as reflexive and transitive both? No, there is not option of giving the answer reflexive and transitive. So that is why we'll be stopping here and giving the fourth option. We won't be able to check the, we won't be even checking the transitivity. But if you want, we can generate an example for transitivity as that root 2 is satisfying with 2, 2 is satisfying with 2 plus root 2. Okay, and again we can generate a third example, 2 plus root 2 is satisfying with 4 plus root 2. And finally we will observe that 2 plus root 2 is satisfying with 2 plus 2 root 2. Okay, so finally we will observe that these transitivity is not being satisfied. So R is non-transitive, R is reflexive only. So that is why D option will be the final answer. Let us move ahead to the next question. Here we have alpha and beta. These are the roots of this particular equation. So I first of all want to simplify this. If I want to simplify this, this can be written as root 2 minus 1 with a whole square. So here I am writing root 2 minus 1. Here we have minus root 2x. And here we have x square. Now if I try to actually convert it into, okay, if I try to actually apply the middle term splitting concept, or I apply the factorization of it, I'll be able to generate the values of x. Okay, so if I try to generate the values of x from here, the one value of x that we will be obtaining is x is equals to 1, and the second value of x that we will be obtaining is root 2 minus 1. So these two values will be considered as alpha and beta. One will be alpha, other one will be beta. Now you just need to substitute the value of alpha as 1, and here we will have cos inverse alpha, that is 0. Then tan inverse alpha, this will be pi by 4. Okay, so we know that we are getting the value of cos inverse 1 at 0. Okay, then tan inverse 1 we are getting pi by 4, and tan inverse beta, so tan inverse root 2 minus 1 we are obtaining at pi by 8. So we just need to add these and we will be able to get the final answer. So what is the final answer that we are actually generating from here? Can you please help me with that? So is it 3 pi by 8 or is it 4 pi by 8? Can you please help me with this? Is it 3 pi by 8 or 4 pi by 8? Yes. If I try to add this, I will be able to get 3 pi by 8, and it is given to us in the option A, so that is why option A will be the final answer. I hope you are able to understand this particular illustration. Okay. We are moving ahead to the next one. It is 1 minus sine 2 theta. It is cos 2 theta. It is 2 cos 2 theta. Then the value of f 11 degree, f 34 degree will be equals to what? In this situation, I will be writing here sine theta minus cos theta whole square. Then it will be cos square minus sine square. Okay, and this whole is divided by 2 times cos square minus sine square. Now, can I eliminate this theta? Yes. I will be taking sine minus cos common. So here I will be left with sine minus cos. Then here I will be left with cos plus sine, because I have taken this sine minus cos as common. And here I will be left with 2 times, negative 2 times cos plus sine, because I have taken this sine minus cos. Or we can also take this cos minus sine common from both numerator and denominator. Let us take this cos minus sine common. Okay. So let us take this cos minus sine. So we'll be left with cos plus sine only. I hope you are able to understand this. Okay, after taking this cos minus sine common from both numerator and denominator, I will be left with only this expression. Okay, now if I try to simplify this, cos and cos both are getting cancelled. It will be 2 sine whole divided by twice of cos plus sine. So what I can observe from here, that 2 and 2 both are getting cancelled, and only we are left with sine theta upon sine plus cos. So basically, if I want to convert it into the form of basically tan theta or cot theta, so this can be written as after dividing it by cos, it will be 10 whole divided by 1 plus 10. So this expression we are obtaining 10 whole divided by 1 plus 10. Okay. Now after obtaining this expression, this is a function, and here I need to substitute the value of theta as 11 as well as theta as 34. After substituting as 11 and theta as 34, we can actually simplify it. But first of all, I want to figure out what is the thing that we are lagging here. Here, if I write cos minus sine, yeah, there is a problem in this situation. Yes. Here I have done a mistake. Just a minute. Here I have done a mistake. Yes. So here I am done, here only cos minus sine will be left. This is a mistake that we have done. Okay, so at that time cos and cos will not get cancelled. Sine and sine will get cancelled. Okay, so it will be 2 cos upon twice of cos plus sine. And if I want to convert it into the form of 10, so cos will be divided in both numerator and denominator. It will be 1 upon 1 plus 10. So this is the function that we have obtained. So function of x will be 1 upon 1 plus tan theta. Now in the same function, if I substitute 11 as well as 34. So here we have 11 and into function of 34. Then what we will do? So it will be 1 upon 1 plus tan 11, and it will be 1 upon 1 plus tan 34. This 34 can be converted into 45 minus 11, so that we can actually convert it into the same expression. Okay, so I am writing here 34 as 45 minus 11. Now we have tan A minus B, and tan A minus B will be written as tan A minus tan B upon 1 plus tan A tan B, and after converting it into the same expression. Okay, so after simplifying it, I will be able to get the value of this function. If the product will be equals to half. I hope you are able to understand the series of steps that we need to follow. Now, this Boolean expression question can easily be attempted with the help of a Venn diagram. So we can observe here very easy. With the help of truth table also we can generate, with the help of algebra also we can generate, with the help of Venn diagram also it will be very easy for us to generate. So here we have P and Q, which is representing this region, if this is P and this is Q. Then we have P union negation Q, that means the area which P has and the area which negation Q has, we need to take the union of that. So this is the area of negation Q, and if I take the union of P with it, so this is the entire region which is the shaded region which we are obtaining here. So this entire shaded region is the portion which is the combination of these two. Okay. Now what we need to do, we need to take the common of negation P and negation Q. So basically, do you know what is the common of negation P and negation Q? So according to the De Morgan law, this can be converted to P union Q whole negation. So the third term is the region which is represented here. Okay. So if I want to take the common of this left hand side and the right hand side, so the common of left hand side and right hand side will be this. So negation P and negation Q will be the final answer, and negation P and negation Q is given in the C option, so that is why C option will be the final answer. I hope you are able to understand this. Now this is a question 0 to 2 fx and 0 to 30 f inverse y dy. Okay, so this is a question. This is f, this is inverse of this function. So first of all, I'll be breaking this into two parts. One is 0 to 1 f of x. Then I'll be writing here 1 to 2 f of x. And then I will be writing here 0 to 30 f inverse x, f inverse y dy. So what we are observing from here, that suppose in case of inverse function, if the value of x is 1, suppose I want to calculate f of 1. So if I substitute 1, I'll be able to get 0. So at x is equals to 1, we are getting the value of y as 0. Okay. Now if we are substituting x is equals to 2, at x is equals to 2, we are getting the value of y as 30. So it is y is equals to 30. So what we are observing, it will start with 1 and it will be going up till 2, and at 1 we have the value 0, at 2 we will be having the value 30. So basically I need to have the under area of this is fx, and I need to have the under area of this will be f inverse x. This is a shortcut to get the directly integration. Okay, so basically this is a square type structure of having the length 2 and having the height as 30. So this combination of these two integrals will generate an answer 60, and if I try to figure out the integration of this, it will be minus 4, and 60 minus 4 will generate the result as 56. So that is why the 56 will be the final answer. I hope you are able to understand this. Okay. Moving ahead to the next question, here we have a y is equals to function type of a differential equation, and this differential equation has a power minus 1, and in this differential equation what I need to suppose, I need to assume this particular expression 4 plus 9 plus root x with a square root x. I will be assuming it as t. If I assume this particular expression as t, here differentiation will be 0, here it will be 2 root 9 plus root x, and then we will have the differentiation of 9 as 0, then the differentiation of root x will be 1 upon 2 root x, then dx, and here I will be able to write this expression as dt. So finally the entire expression will be converted into the form of t, and the final differential equation that we are obtaining here is 2 dy will be equals to 1 upon root t dt. And on integrating both the sides, 2 and 2 both will get cancelled. So finally we will be able to write 2y is equals to 2 root t plus c. If I'm not cancelling this 2, then I can here write 2y is equals to 2 root t plus c. Then I need to replace the value of t also. The value of t is 4 plus square root of 9 plus root x, and then I will be substituting the value of x as 0. And after substituting the value of x as 0, I'll put the value of y as root 7. I'll be able to get the value of c. So from here I can observe that c is equals to 0 after substituting these two values. And once I get the value of c as 0, I'll again put inside it and I'll be able to get y is equals to root t. So basically y is equals to root t we are obtaining, but we need to put the value of x as 256. So if I substitute x as 256, so here we can observe y is equals to root t, and here we are having the t as 4 plus square root of 9 plus root x. Okay. Now if I substitute the value of x as 256, okay, so 256 with a square root, it will be 16, 16 plus 9, it will be 25, 25 square root will be 5, 5 plus 4, it will be 9, 9 square root will be 3. So the value of y at x is equals to 256 will be equals to 3. I hope you are able to understand how we got the result as 3. Okay, let us move to the next question. So there is a line which is meeting the x-axis and y-axis at two different points, meeting the y-axis at the point A and meeting the x-axis at the point B. So if I try to write the intercept form of it, it will be x upon 8, then y upon 12 is equals to 1. So this point will be 8, 0 and this point will be 0, 12. Now what they have told us, the perpendicular bisector of AB, there will be a line which is bisecting this AB. So the midpoint of it will be 4 and it will be 6. If the slope of this line, if I want to get the slope of this line, it is minus 3 over 2. So the slope of the perpendicular bisector will be 2 by 3. Even I can write the equation of the perpendicular. So the perpendicular bisector of AB meets the line through 0, -1. 0, -1 is a line which is lying meets a negative parallel to x-axis. So this is a line 0, -1 which has the equation y is equals to -1. So this perpendicular bisector meets at this point. So basically I will be determining the equation of this perpendicular bisector, and once I get the equation of this perpendicular bisector, I'll be putting the value of y as -1. If I substitute the y as -1, then it will become -7, then it will become -21 upon 2, -21 upon 2 plus 4. Then I will be able to get this coordinate. So basically this is a C point and very easy for us to get the coordinate of C. Okay, once I get the coordinate of C, it will be -13 upon 2, -1. Okay, this is the coordinate of C. So they have told us that there is a triangle which is formed here, the triangle ABC. So we need to get the area of this triangle. So if I get the area of triangle as A, I want to convert this answer in the form of A by 13. So how will I be able to get the area of this triangle? With the help of determinant. So I'll be writing 0, 12, 1 A, then B is 8, 0, 1, okay, and then C is -13 by 2, -1 and 1. This is multiplied by half. This will gives us a value of capital A. Once you try to solve this capital A, we'll be able to get the answer as 91. Okay, this is capital A. And A upon 13 they have asked us. Okay, so the value of A upon 13 will be equals to 7. I hope you are able to understand how we get the answer as 7. So we are moving to the next question. Here is another question, tan inverse x plus tan inverse square root of 1 minus y square upon y is equals to pi by 3, and sin inverse y minus cos inverse x upon square root of 1 plus x square is equals to pi by 6, and I want to get the value of 5 sin inverse x upon sin inverse y. For that I will be converting this expression first of all. So the first one will be tan inverse x, then I will be converting into 2 cos, then it will become cos inverse y, it will be pi by 3. And then the second will be sin inverse y. Here this particular can be converted into cot inverse. So I am writing here cot inverse x is equals to pi by 6. Now if I try to add the first equation and the second equation, okay, I am adding both of these. So cos inverse y and sin inverse y will be pi by 2, and tan inverse x minus cot inverse x will be remaining, and they will be pi by 2. Here in the left hand side also 60 plus 30, they will be pi by 2. Pi by 2 and pi by 2 both are getting cancelled, and tan inverse x will be equals to cot inverse x in this situation. So we are observing that tan inverse x and cot inverse x are equal at x is equals to 1. So I got the value of x is equals to 1. So here in the numerator it will be 5 pi by 2. I hope you are able to understand this. Okay. Now if I try to subtract both of these equation 1 and 2 subtraction. So on subtracting these two, cos inverse y minus sin inverse y will be obtained, and tan inverse minus of minus cot inverse, it will become plus. So here we have pi by 2, then we have cos inverse y, then we have sin inverse y with a negative, and here we have pi by 3, that is 60 minus 30. 60 minus 30 will be actually 30 itself. Okay, so here we will be writing the value of cos inverse y minus sin v. I want to convert this entire expression into the form of sin inverse. So instead of this cos inverse, I will be writing pi by 2 minus sin inverse y. So one sin inverse y was already there, one I have got. So here I will be able to write the value of sin inverse y. Okay, I'll be able to get the value of sin inverse y. Okay, if I try to get the value of sin inverse y, that will be equals to 5 pi by 12. 5 pi by 12. Okay, so you need to just put the value of 5 pi by 12 here, and if you try to simplify it, it will be equals to 6. Okay, so the answer to this question will be coming as 6. Moving to the next question, the distance of the point from the line. There is a line given to us which has the equation x plus 2 over 3, 2y plus 3 over 4, 3z plus 4 over 5. So this is a line given to us by L. Okay, there is a point which is P, minus 2, 3 and negative 4, and we need to find the distance from the line measured parallel to the plane. So basically I need to get this distance where one plane is also given to us. So parallel to this plane, I need to actually get this distance. Okay, so how will I be able to get this? Suppose if I assume a point on this line, so let us assume this to be a lambda. Okay, so this distance is given to us as d, and I want to get the value of 2d minus 8. Okay, so let us find the coordinate as 3 lambda minus 2, then it will be 4 lambda minus 3 whole divided by 2, and here it will be 5 lambda minus 4 whole divided by 3. Okay, this is a point P. Let us assume this is a point Q. Now I will be able to write the PQ vector. So PQ vector will be 3 lambda minus 2 minus 2. So it will become 3 lambda minus 4 I cap. Then 4 lambda minus 3 whole upon 2 minus 3 j cap. And then 5 lambda minus 4 upon 3 minus of minus 4, it will become plus 4, that is k cap. So basically we have the PQ vector in the vectorial form. Now this PQ vector is making 90 degree with the plane, and the normal vector to the plane is 4i, then 12j, and then minus 3k. So if these two vectors are perpendicular, then their dot product should be equals to 0. So if I make the dot product of PQ with the normal vector and I equate it to 0, I will be able to get the value of lambda. So let us write on the next page PQ dot n if they are made 0. So here we have 3 lambda minus 4 multiplied with 4. Then we have 4 lambda minus 3. So basically 4 lambda minus 9 upon 2 will be coming over here. And this gets multiplied with 12. And then we have 5 lambda minus 4 and plus 12. So basically 5 lambda plus 8 will be generated. So basically we have 5 lambda plus 8 whole divided by 3. And this is be multiplied with the k component. And what is the k component? It is minus 3. So this is equals to 0. After simplifying it, can I get the value of lambda? Yes, very easily we can get the value of lambda from here. Okay. So can I write the direct value of lambda from here? Because that will actually reduce the number of steps of the calculation. So here we are obtaining the value of lambda as 2. And if I want to get the coordinate of the Q point, if I substitute lambda as 2, so 3 into 2, 6, 6 minus 2, it will be 4. So the x coordinate is 4 over here. Then we have the y coordinate as 5 by 2, and we have the z coordinate as 2. Okay. So I will be able to get the PQ distance in the form of distance formula, that is 17 over 2. So this is in this we are using the distance formula basically to get the PQ distance. They have asked us to write the value for 2d minus 8. So 2d minus 8 will be twice of 17 over 2 minus 8. So 2 and 2 will get cancelled, 17 minus 8, the result will be 9. So the answer of this question will be equals to 9. Are you able to understand how we are getting the result as 9? If this is clear to you, then we are moving to the next question. There is an integration, indefinite integration, and here we need to get the value of capital A, capital B, capital C. And once I get the value of capital A and capital B, I'll be able to get 4a plus b. So the glimpse of this question I can give you very easily, dx upon, then we have sin x raised to the power 11 upon 3. Then we have cos x raised to the power 1 by 3. What I want to do here, I will be dividing it by cos x raised to the power 11 upon 3. If I am multiplying or if I am dividing, I need to multiply also. So this will be converted to 10x raised to the power 11 upon 3. And here we have cos. If I try to add both of these powers, so it will become cos raised to the power 4. Then this cos square, 1 upon cos square, will be written as sec square. So in the next step, I am writing here sec square x dx. And here I am writing 10x raised to the power 11 upon 3. Moreover, one cos square, one sec square will be remaining. Okay, so for that I am writing 1 plus 10 square because there were sec raised to the power 4. Okay, so one sec square I am keeping as it is, and the remaining sec square has been converted again into the form of 10. 1 plus 10 raised to the power 4. Okay, so this is the expression that we have obtained. Now what we can do, we will be substituting the value of 10x as t. I know that 10x as t, then sec square x dx will be converted to dt. So in the numerator, I can observe this expression is dt, and here we have 1 plus t square. I am writing 1 plus t square, and moreover in the denominator it is t raised to the power 11 upon 3. Are you getting my point? So this is very simple now. I will be individually dividing it 1 upon t raised to the power 11 upon 3, and then t square upon t raised to the power 11 upon 3, and then this needs to be integrated with respect to t. I'll first of all integrate this function, then I'll put the value of tan theta. So after substituting the value of tan theta, what I observe, so the value of a and b that we are obtaining, if I substitute that a and b, because I need to get the value of 4a plus b in this particular question. Okay, so 4a plus b will be equals to negative 3 over here. Okay, now they have asked us to get the value of 4a plus b in this question. So the answer of this question will be equals to negative 3. Okay, now if you tell me that what should be the value of what should be the coefficient of 10x raised to the power minus 8 by 3, and what should be the coefficient of 10x raised to the power minus 2 by 3. Okay, so if you ask me, so this will be minus 3 by 8. Okay, and if I try to get the value of b, it will be minus 3 by 2. So in this way we will be able to write the value of 4a, and then we will try to do plus b, and we will be able to get the final answer. Okay, next is if the area bounded by the curve and the tangent to it drawn from the origin is capital A, we need to find the value of 3a. How will I be able to find? So first of all, I will be able to track the curve. Okay, so this is a curve. Next, the tangent drawn to it from the origin. From origin I need to draw. Suppose this is a tangent number 1, this is a tangent number 2, and I need to actually area bounded by the curve and the tangent drawn from origin. So basically we need to find this area. So for that I need to know this point also. So the point will be of the form of x comma x square plus 1. This is origin. Differentiation of this function is 2x. So differentiation is equals to slope of tangent, and slope of tangent will be x square plus 1 upon x. If I try to cross multiply, 2x square will be x square plus 1, x square will be equals to 1, then x will be equals to plus minus 1. So here we will have x is equals to minus 1, here we will have x is equals to plus 1. But in both these situations I will be able to get the value of y as 2. That means I got the point of contact. If I got the point of contact, then this point is very easy now. This is 1 comma 0. So the final area that I want to evaluate, I will be integrating from 0 to 1 and the subtraction of these two functions. So basically x square plus 1 minus x, I need to integrate this, and I will be multiplying it by 2 because the area that I am having in the left hand side and the area that I am having in the right hand side both will be same. So to get the value of capital A, I will be multiplying it by 2, and once I multiply it by 2, so I will be able to get the final answer. So they have asked me to get the area. So capital A, after actually simplifying it, will be equals to 2/3. This will be 2/3. But they haven't asked us the value of capital A. They have asked us the value of 3a. So I'll be multiplying this 2/3 with 3. So I will be getting the answer as 2 in this situation. Okay. I hope you are able to understand how to get to the answer of this question. Okay. We are moving to the next question, the number of values of k for which the linear equation. There is a linear equation, this one, this one, this one. All of these linear equations are homogeneous linear equation. homogeneous linear equation. That means homogeneous linear equation always has 0, 0, 0. That is trivial solution. But if it is possessing non-zero solution, so the value of the delta is equals to 0. So that means 4k2 and then k4 1 and then 2 2 1. The determinant value of this expression should be 0. And if I try to solve it and get the value of k, so I will be getting the two different values of k, that is 2 and 4. So basically the number of values of k, so the number of values of k is 2 because one is the value 2, other is the value 4. Even if we need to get the value of number of values of k, so we know that this will become a quadratic expression, and if this will become a quadratic expression, so the roots will be 2. I hope you are able to understand this. Okay. Now there is another question. So this determinant is equals to k by 3 where, d is a determinant, then k by 3 where k is a total number of divisors of this particular expression. Okay, so if I want to simplify this determinant, if you want me to actually simplify this determinant, so how will I be able to do? Okay, so first of all, let me simplify, let me get the value of this expression. Okay, and then I will be calculating the number of divisors of this expression. Okay, and then we will be evaluating k by 3. Then we will be finally evaluating a by 3. Okay, how to do this question? So from the first one, can I take 10 factorial from the first row? Yes. From the second row, can I take 11 factorial? Yes. And from the third row, can I take 12 factorial? Yes. I will be easily able to take these three. Okay. Now I will be left with only the determinant 1, 11, 12. Then here if I take 11 factorial, 1, 12, 13. Then here if I take 12 factorial, I will be left with 1, 13 and 14. Now can I apply the property to make this particular element and this particular 0? So R2 tends to R2 minus R1, R3 tends to R3 minus R1. I will be able to simplify this. Okay, once I am able to simplify this, then if I try to divide d upon 10 factorial, 10 factorial, 10 factorial. So what will happen? If I divide by 10 factorial, this will be eliminated. 11 factorial upon 10 factorial, 11 will come. 12 factorial upon 10 factorial, it will be 11 into 12. I hope you are able to understand this. Okay. Once I get the value of d upon this, then I'll be subtracting it by 4. I'll get a number. And of that number, I need to calculate the total numbers of divisors. Once I calculate the total number of divisors, that value will be equals to k basically. Okay. That value will be equals to k. So the value of k that we are obtaining is 2900, and hence after dividing it by 3, it will be equals to 2900. So basically the final answer that we will be obtaining here will be equals to 2900. I hope you are able to understand this. Okay. Moving ahead to the next question. Two vertical poles, 20 meter and 80 meter. So this is a 20 meter pole, this is a 80 meter pole. Okay. Next. Stand apart on a horizontal plane. The height of the point of intersection of the line joining the top of each pole to the foot of that other. So basically they are asking about the point of intersection of these two lines. Now the height of this point is suppose h, and you already know the relationship. Suppose this is x, this is y. So there are two triangles and you can apply the trigonometry, but the final relationship that we are obtaining is 1 upon h will be equals to 1 upon x plus 1 upon y. So if I want to get this height, I will be writing 1 by 20 plus 1 by 80. So basically I want to get the value of h from here. Okay. So 1 upon h will be 80 will be the LCM. Here I will have 4, here I will have 1. So this will become 5 upon 80. 5 upon 80, this will get cancelled. Hence the value of h will be equals to 16. So they have told us to get the height of the point of intersection of the lines joining the top of each pole to the foot of the other. So the answer of this question, okay, without even applying the trigonometry, if you know the result, you can do that. But if you want to apply the trigonometry, you can apply that also, because there are two triangles. So this will be very easy for do. So the answer of this question will be h is equals to 16. So this was all about today's paper. Thank you so much guys for attending this video session. And I hope you are able to understand every solution of it. So bye bye, take care, have a nice day.